Hi, my name is Joanna Ma, and I'm a student here at the University of Maryland, College Park. And I'm here today to talk to you about nonverbal communication. In speeches, the audience receives only 5% of the spoken word. 45% comes from voice elements and 50% comes from body language. So voice elements and body language are both nonverbal communication behaviors, and so it takes up about 95% of what the audience actually receives. That's why it's very important that you understand what nonverbal communication is, because it has a big effect on audience. So today I'm going to be talking about what nonverbal communication is, what it does, and why it's important to project managers. So first, what is nonverbal communication? Nonverbal communication are behaviors aside from the actual spoken word that transmit meaning. This includes appearance, like how you are dressed. I'm dressed professionally, so I seem like I'm serious about this speech. There's also facial expression. Smiling just like that admits that you're happy. Body language. So for someone crossing their arms, it means that it could be perceived as they're closed off and don't want to talk. You want to avoid that. There's also eye contact to show that you're listening and you're there, you're paying attention. There's gestures like shaking hands to be welcoming. And there's also voice modulations, such as having a pitch at the end of the sentence. Having a higher pitch at the end of the sentence. Secondly, what does nonverbal communication do? Well, nonverbal communication affects people's impression of you. People feel what you look like you're feeling. So if you seem like you're confident when you're talking, then people are more likely to feel confident as well, and they're more likely to also listen to you and take your presentation seriously. You could look confident, depending on what your nonverbal communication behavior is. You could look confident, relaxed, trustworthy, or strength, and many other things as well. Those are just some examples. For instance, changing your pitch at the end of a sentence. So, for example, I could say, I have finished my work. Having that high pitch at the end of the sentence makes it sound like it's a question, like you're not confident, you actually don't know whether or not you finished your own work. But what you wanted to convey was that I have finished my work. Saying that without that high pitch at the end of the sentence makes you seem more confident. That makes your audience actually understand that you have finished your own work. And lastly, why is it important to project managers to have good nonverbal communication? Well, as a project manager, you are the leader of your team. You delegate tasks, and you want your team to actually do those tasks. But your team are more likely to do the tasks that you say if you seem confident in what you are doing. If you're confident, you actually know what you're doing. That also creates trust, and that's communicated through nonverbal communication as well. It will help. So your team is constantly looking at you, you're constantly being observed by everyone around you. So it's important to keep those nonverbal communication behaviors in mind to make sure that you as a project manager are doing the best to show that you are a good leader. In conclusion, I have gone over what nonverbal communication is, why it is important, and what does it do. It's important to remember that you are always communicating, whether you're talking or your nonverbal communications. Nonverbal communication emits feelings. As Dr. Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Nonverbal communication lets the audience feel something, or it helps in getting the audience to feel something. So that's what audience will always remember. That's why there's 95% from body language and voice elements when an audience receives your speech. And that's why only 5% of the actual spoken word is received by the audience for speech. Thank you for listening to my speech, and hopefully you've learned something about nonverbal communication. Thank you.